Do you see anything on this water bottle? Do you see that? Do you see that? The symbolism blows my mind. Even when I was loved by the world, it was my so-called friends who secretly envied me with a passion. Over time, I became more and more aware that they wanted to see me upset. They wanted me to be humiliated. They got like an ego boost if they could. You know, I come from a small town, maybe a mid-sized town, but if you had any type of popularity, which a lot of chosen ones have, it's like you're in a small town regardless. You'll have friends, and I'm just reflecting on my past here, that will watch you closely, competing with your life, trying to get close, envying your abilities and your gifts. At the time, my gifts were shining through sports, and I guess my ability to be in relationships with the desirable girls of my school at the time. And my leadership roles in sports, and the desirable worldly family, which like now I'm aware that if you follow this channel at all, I've been like, unraveling the truth behind what it's like to have narcissistic parents. But I was always surrounded by so much worldliness and vanity. And I have experienced like a lot of pleasure that to this day, my shady friends of the past, my so-called friends, they're like mad that they're still trying to achieve and experience the levels of pleasure that I did way back then, and that I am now living for God. They're like mad that someone who they were striving to emulate and outcompete has completely let go of the world, surrendered by God, and they're like mad that, and if this resonates with you, they're like mad that you chose God before them. They see everything as a competition. They see your life as a competition. They like think you're some trend setter or something. And what they don't realize is that God chose you. You just surrendered to what was destined to happen anyways. So as time has went on, you've just been getting confirmation that you were always surrounded by people that lived in darkness, that did not share your heart and your faith, right? I was kind of in denial about it too. Like, I was surrounded by a lot of people, all my athletic buddies, but I was cool with everyone, really. As we got older, like in high school and stuff, man, your friends will turn on you so quick if there's a girl involved. The number of times that they became traitors and supported my ex during a breakup, I probably couldn't count that, on a single hand or two. And like, yeah, I don't know whether to call them relationships or not, but I've definitely had my fair share with those type of worldly experiences. They always wanted to humiliate the chosen one, the highly favored one. And I didn't know that I wasn't fully awake, obviously, that I'm like a child of God. But I was chosen and predestined and set apart, known from the womb to eventually surrender. So I wasn't, uh, obviously I wasn't reborn. But, and like the world had its toll on me as far as like darkening me and influencing me, right? I think everyone could say that, but it's like, I don't know, upon reflecting on my youth, there's definitely signs that God was right there the whole time, letting me go through these betrayals and showing me that, and now I have clarity over it, that it'll be those closest to you that will backstab you, that reveal their true colors over time. And like I said, I was like in denial over it because I thought that everyone was like me, in the sense that, like, why would you want to burn a bridge? Why would you want to ruin a friendship or anything like that? I've just always been empathetic and a people pleaser, really, But now I see that, like, dude, everyone's wearing a mask. They want what they can get out of the next person, and specifically the chosen one, who is highly loving and compassionate. And like, we always wanted others to succeed, and we've always tried to bring other people up to our level. I remember I was the kid, I would include the so-called nerdy kids into our group and like make sure my jock friends were cool, like, don't disrespect, like, I've always been like a healer, been compassionate about the less fortunate. And people looked up to me in that way. And I don't know, I was just like respected widely. But everything I did, without even trying to be like flaunting who I am, my friends envied it. And as I said, like, going through breakups and stuff, I would never be one to do what my friends at the time were doing. Like, they would pull up with my ex in their car and try to act all like cool and like we're buddy still, and just to like prove a point. They'll just try to prove a point. And when you're that young and you don't know, your eyes haven't been opened fully, that can be devastating. That can really upset you, right? I was there are just many things, right? I was like the homecoming king, or I like pretty much was. I got elected to be on homecoming court, and so did my girlfriend at the time. It was my group of friends that ran around to everyone at the school and told them to not vote for me. So this like goofy, feminine theater kid, he got picked for homecoming king, and it was like a shock to everybody, including myself. And my friends were like snickering and stuff, but I never revealed my emotions. It's like I intuitively knew that people, I didn't know who it was at the time, but people wanted to humiliate me, right? Slander my name. And as I like went off to college and stuff and had more worldly experiences, it seemed like it all intensified. All of the drama that I like didn't want, I was attracting it. All of the gossipers, all of the games, all of the traitors, it was just multiplying. I turned to, drugs and alcohol and pretty much became a failure at college. But now I can look back and see that it was all for the sake of waking me up to who I am. I was brought to the lowest point in my life and started questioning everything, and finally like speaking to God, and he brought me tears of joy when my heart had grown cold and I had like no emotion. I just completely let go. And I still have people of my past that have played all these games, all these covert, sneaky games, that are like searching high and low on social media to compare their life to mine. And they get mad when I'm like, I could care less, about their worldly gain. They'll get mad that you're not striving for the things that you used to, because they're chasing it mainly to get your approval or to make you jealous or feel some type of way. It's like they're sitting back from behind the scenes, like telling people, can you let Devin know that I got this sweet car? That's like how they think. And but there's so many people, like it's my parents that are involved too. Like they like want me to be loved by the world because they are loved by the world. And I'm sure that they think that I'm like hurting their worldly image by turning from the world. But no one can dictate or have the same type of influence they've had over me when I was asleep. And I'm speaking from a first person perspective, but hopefully all of this relates. Like, you've been shown that all of your experiences have led up to this point in your life. And now you've like grown a backbone and you don't need anyone's approval. And you have your eyes set on spiritual things, heavenly things, and the plan that God has for you to sustain a life worth living and not being bound to idols, right? We can forgive people that ask for forgiveness. Well, we're not going to forget. And I mean, most time people don't ask for forgiveness. They just try to play it off and wait enough time. They want to let enough time go by and act all cool. Hey, how you been, man? How's it going? What are you up to? What are you doing? What do you got going on? It's like, I don't even know you. You don't even know who I am. Like, the old me died, right? Like, and why should I give you a life update? Like, I know who you are. I know you better than you know yourself, right? You literally know these people better than they know themselves. They don't know, they're not aware. They are reactive and selfish and of the enemy. So you freak people out. They come around and they're intimidated by your newfound, glory to God, your wisdom. They're catching on to the fact that they can't play the same games that they used to. And their hope is that they can strive to achieve something, not according to God's plan, but to their own, hoping that you will see them from afar and feel some type of way. It truly feels like, though, that our life is like the ultimate victorious testimony. How, although we're not like making anything an idol, we're not making money an idol like a lot of these people, he's like aligning his chosen ones to give them an assignment to where what he has planned for you will prove to them that they're on the wrong side of things and that they are exposed, and that he's still going to bless you in the ways that they're going to continue envying, right? So I was just touching here on friends of the past that you can't call friends anymore, they'll try to get back into your good graces because they're watching you from afar and they want to get to a place with you where you're like emotionally attached to the past, and that you might feel obligated to help people out that don't deserve it and that are covert narcissistic demons. You're too awake. You know, you can't unlearn what God has shown you, right? God chose you, and you know, it's like an underdog story. You've been through a bunch of humiliation, and you keep passing these tests, and you're leveling up in the spiritual realm, and because of that, like, Satan has to multiply his army, but he's revealing his hand. Like, everything they try to do and prevent, the wisdom that they hate seeing you have is the exact wisdom that they're giving you. God is like using them and they don't even know it. Everything they do, you're learning, God is adding on to you what you need for the next phase of your development, right? Your growth, your destiny, right? So I hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned, and God bless.